Good morning from magical Stockholm. We arrived yesterday, very jet lagged because neither of us actually slept on the plane. Oh, I see flakage. So the first hiccup that we ran into when we arrived in Stockholm yesterday is taking a taxi from the airport was not the wisest choice to make for transportation. We got into the taxi and I just assumed, a taxi is a taxi is a taxi. When the guy started driving us towards Stockholm, and it's about a 30-minute drive from the airport to Stockholm, and the traffic was pretty bad, so he turned off of the freeway and was basically like, yeah, the traffic's really bad, so you should just take the tram into the city. And we were like, okay. So he basically pulled up to the train station and kind of kicked us out of the cab. I was like, well, that is a first for me for sure. Luckily, the transit system here in Stockholm is super easy to navigate. The gentleman at the train station kiosk was super nice and told us exactly what trains we needed to get on in order to get to our location. I was very glad that I had uploaded the eSIM onto my phone because we were able to use Google Maps in order to kind of figure things out too. We do have a busy day planned for today, which is our first full day here in Stockholm, and we're going to be going to a couple of museums. We're going to go really old school and go visit this old preserved Viking ship. And then we're going to go new school and go to the ABBA Museum. So going to the two extremes. And after that, we are going to try out the Swedish tradition of fika. But first, we're going to go downstairs and enjoy the free breakfast that we get with our hotel room and get some coffee, because I haven't had coffee in probably maybe 48 hours.
I want to share my stuff too.
Okay.
One, I hate to inform you,
You got to come in here.
ABBA is still considered old school. We're doing two old school things today. The second is she forgot to tell you went to a bookstore yesterday so I could get something for a travel journal, which is a fun thing you can do if you want travel journals. Get a little notebook wherever you went to be able to have it to do memories and stuff. This is what we did yesterday, but it's all me because I'm the star of my own journal. But yeah, it's a little Moomin journal, which is, I think...
It's Finnish.
It's Finnish, but it's Scandinavian enough.
Yes, true.
That's all. That's all I had to share.
We'll probably be exploring the Moomin stuff when we get to Helsinki more, because they do a bunch of... that is where Moomin is from. Yeah. And they have a big, I think, Moomin either museum or store or something like that there. So
probably both.
Yeah. So you'll see that in future vlogs. So make sure you subscribe.
Take a sip of that water. How did you describe the water earlier? How would you rate this water?
This water is amazing.
Would you say it's pretty good?
It's damn good.
Would you say it's pretty good water?
It's pretty good water.
Interesting. Wonder where you could have subliminally been taught that the water is good. Where you turn now? Because I don't know that you've seen the sign. Yeah, I'd say it's some pretty...
It's damn good water. Yes, I'm impressed. So this Viking ship was built in 1628, but unfortunately the shipbuilder did not adjust for the amount of ballast that was going to be on the ship. So it basically went out a few hundred meters from Stockholm and hit a couple of thunderstorms and immediately sank. So it was sunken for 333 years, almost fully preserved under the water until they went down, and in 1961 the Navy divers went down to bring it back up. For basically over 60 years they have been restoring this beautiful ship. But interestingly enough, they did an inquest after it sank to find out who was to blame for the sinking of the ship, and nobody actually got convicted, but it appears that between the king, who was insisting that the ship be built super fast and with a lot more guns than they were building ships at that time, and the shipbuilder, that it probably was the king's fault that the ship sank. One of the coolest things about this boat is there are 500 different sculptures on the boat, and they're all different styles. We were joking that there was no theme to the sculptures that they decided to put on the ship. And when it was originally built, all the sculptures were actually painted, and it was a very vibrant ship. It was painted red, and then all of the sculptures themselves were painted like with, as they said, with rosy cheeks and red lips. It's hard to imagine because after being sunken for 333 years, the paint has completely come off of all of the sculptures. But it is such a cool thing to come and see. It's rare that you find something like this that's been as well preserved as this was. Oh, and one of the reasons it was so well preserved is because it sank in the Baltic Sea, which is more of a brackish water, so it doesn't have as much salt. So because it was sunk in water that didn't have a lot of salt in it is one of the reasons why it is so well preserved.
What'd you think of the boat museum?
I thought it was really cool. It was definitely more than I thought it was going to be. I totally thought we were going to go in there and take a few pictures of the boat and then leave like half an hour max. But wow, there was a lot to it, and it was super interesting. I think that there were 500 sculptures on the boat because, oh, don't slip. It's very icy out here. 500 sculptures on that boat, and they're all like super varied, but the main thing is that the sculptures were because the king wanted to make a point of how powerful he was. So I thought that was interesting. What about you?
I liked the sculpture that was dunking on the Polish guy, even though they were basically done with the war by the time the boat was done.
That was pretty cool.
So it was old beef.
That poor guy was like shoved up under a bench.
Yeah.
Because he had been
like a dog 3 times. Slanderer. Pure slander.
Yeah, that was crazy.
My favorite thing I learned was that the reason the boat sank is because the king just was a terrible project manager.
Yeah, he wanted to put way too much input into the building instead of relying on the professionals. Shocking, you know.
Sorry, I just saw the true crime sign at the Spirit Museum.
Hell yeah.
Do you want to see where we're going next?
Yeah, so we are headed to the Spirit Museum for lunch, but they have my favorite thing. They've got a true crime thing going on here, so that's going to be interesting. Something else about the Viking ship museum, or the Vasa Museum, was that it was very nice that the temperature wasn't super warm when you got inside, because it's chilly, and of course we're wearing all of our layers, but it's cool enough when you're in there that you don't feel like you're getting overheated wearing all of the clothes that you have on. Anything else?
No, my arm's starting to hurt.
Oh, okay. Alex doesn't have her vlogging arm like situated yet, so she needs to do a little bit of working out so that she can hold this tiny little camera up for longer.
Let's turn this way.
Okay, we're turning. Oh, nope. So the true crime.
I know, it's just reading that.
How is everything here? Very good.
Prohibition.
It's the Moonshiners.
Yeah, exactly. The Moonshiners exhibition. I love the wooden butter knives. After watching Mamma Mia on repeat, When Alex was about 12, the ABBA Museum was at the top of our must-do list, and it did not disappoint. From learning more about the members of the band and how ABBA actually came together, to the incredible costumes, there was so much more to this museum than I expected. And the interactive exhibits just took it to the next level, from the silent disco to the not so silent karaoke. And I do apologize to anyone who might have been in the museum when I was singing. After a long day of museums, we opted to try out a highly rated sushi place very close to our hotel, and it lived up to the hype.
Don't shake it. I've seen you with chopsticks before.
My chopstick skills are almost as good as my karaoke skills. And because I always like to end the day with a little something sweet, we picked up a cinnamon dessert to try back in our hotel room. So something we did last night and we did again tonight is go out and get a little pastry treat to bring home to have in our room because, well, we're tired, we're still a little jet lagged, and we just want to be able to cozy up and have something sweet after dinner. So tonight, we're not really sure what this is. Last night we got the cardamom buns, which were very, very good. So I am going to try this, and it's called a Canel Lagad. And I'm sorry for all the Swedish out there that I just murdered that, but this is what we are going to be having tonight. So let's see what it tastes like. I was super excited to find the bedtime tea at the little grocery mart that they had outside the metro station too. So we have our bedtime tea and our little treat. And, ooh, it's sticky. Ooh. It kind of feels like a texture of a coffee cake. It's very light and fluffy and sticky. It smells very cinnamony. It's delicious. It's hard to describe what it's like. Like I said, it's super light and fluffy, and it has like layers of cinnamon on the inside, and then it's got like a sticky, not a frosting on the outside, but it's just, I think sugar has melted and made it kind of sticky. Not really sure what these things are on the top. It's just sugar, straight out chunks of sugar. Almost like it's been salted, but with sugar instead of salt. All I know is it's delicious. It was a good choice. So I'm gonna go eat this, and then we'll probably do a little work before we go to sleep tonight. And then tomorrow we are going to go do some more exciting stuff. Can you turn that off for me? Should I?
She gets one person to help her with her camera. And then she has to then turn it off, or turn it on.
We just finished the Stockholm Ghost Walk. That. Can you see it? Stockholm Ghost Walk with Callum, and it is definitely a 10 out of 10. Highly recommend, right, Al?
Yes, very fun.
Yeah, it was great. Lots of history, some really fun entertainment while we were doing it. Some going down in the catacombs, like all sorts of fun stuff. We are big fans of doing a ghost tour when we visit a new city anyway, because it's just such a great way to learn more about the city in a really entertaining way. But this is probably one of the better ones.
A lot of drama, a lot of theatrics, but just the right amount.
Yes. Actually, and even props. There were even props involved. So it's very, very cool. If you're coming to Stockholm, I would definitely look it up. And I'll put it in the link in the description below. I'll put the website down there so you guys can check it out.